Islam. Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Before we begin our meeting, we're going to do a quick court action with regard to some property here in our territory. So let's start the court action first. I am Justice Pauline Denise Ritchie in capitis diminuto nolo, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. My free chosen sovereign appellation is Light Tajiri Bay, in capitis diminuto nolo, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. No United States Corporation Company citizen, nor their agents, principals, heirs, nor assigns, has personam jurisdiction over me nor over any more. This universal sovereign lawful cause of action is manifested by the original indigenous sovereign natural divine people who are the de jure Moorish National Republic federal government, the Moorish American Consulate, and the Moorish American Consular Court, which is Article 3 on the universal level. The universal natural area code for this sovereign court is 4F3WVQVKZ5. This cause of action's sovereign alphanumeric identifier is MACW 99999990002. And let me go ahead and put that on the screen. There it is. Okay, and that alphanumeric identifier is notice to appear to the named corporate persons for unlawful occupation of our sovereign, original, indigenous, ancient, ancestral land. The date that the corporate persons were commanded to appear is today, Sunday, February the 7th, 1441 on the sun calendar, 1441 on our ancient moon calendar, and 2021 on the Greco-Roman calendar. And the time that they are scheduled to appear is 3 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. This sovereign platform is sovereign because the heirs are here, and it is showing at least 40 or more sovereign Moorish American witnesses, and all who view this sovereign consular court action on the public record are witnesses as well. This audio and video platform does not in any way diminish the sovereign authority, universal power, nor the ancestral efficacy of the commands by this court, nor our consulate, nor our sovereign Moorish American government. Lawful notification was given to the said corporate persons by way of sovereign universal Moorish American Postmaster General hand delivery. All of the commerce by the said persons, the said corporate persons, has been terminated by way of our sovereign universal commercial code 1 lien. We, the justices of the Moorish American Consular Court, do hereby execute universal sovereign consular court actions in the favor of all Moors where unlawful occupation of our sovereign original indigenous lands is proven, with nationality status being the proof necessary to activate our sovereign living court to action. This cause of action is hereby placed on the public record for the public record, and letting the public record show that the corporate persons are hereby called forth at this time, and each of you are commanded to state your name and nationality for the Moorish American people who are the Moorish National Republic federal government. Once you have stated your name and nationality for the record, you will then be required to respond to 3 questions by this living court. Your only response to these questions shall be yes if yes is true, or no if no is true. You are commanded to say nothing further, and no questions will be answered by this sovereign court. There is actually only two entities, corporate persons, on this court action. At this time, we call forth all agents, principals, heirs, assigns, and any derivatives thereof of the corporate address doing business as 32910 First Avenue South, Federal Way, Washington, 98003. We call forth now any agents, principals, heirs, assigns who are claiming any interest at all in that property. At this time, you can unmute yourself, *6. Any agents, principals, heirs, assigns of the fraudulent corporate address, 32910 First Avenue South, Federal Way, Washington, 98023. Islam. Next is debtor number 2, Carlos Aguirre, doing business as manager of Mobile Mini Storage Solutions. Carlos Aguirre, doing business as manager, Mobile Mini Storage Solutions. Carlos Aguirre, doing business as manager, Mobile Mini Storage Solutions, claiming to be located at Monroe, Washington, 98272. Islam. Silence is acquiescence. Therefore, those who do not speak when commanded have consented to our universal sovereign jurisdictional authority by way of this sovereign ex parte action, as the corporate parties did fail to appear and or respond point for point. Sovereign ex parte actions by the Supreme Justices, who are the living Moorishe American Consular Court, are further affirmation that we do not need permission of anyone to lawfully govern our vast estate, and all corporate persons are subject to this justice and all subsequent justice and commands by this court. Our sovereign government rulings are the supreme law for the land.
The police are going to be waiting for you at that address on First Avenue, Pauline. The police have been notified. They're going to be waiting for you. The police are going to be waiting for you, Pauline.
Just one moment. Islam. Sovereign ex parte actions by the Supreme Justices, who are the living Moorishe American Consular Court, are further affirmation that we do not need the permission of anyone to govern our vast estate, and all corporate persons, and that means all, are subject to this justice and all subsequent justice and commands by this court. Our sovereign government rulings are the supreme law for the land, even in matters ex parte. We the people do hereby state that all whose names were called are hereby notified that this cause of action is being held over until such time as we the people determine that our sovereign judgment, which is justice, shall be given. For the record, all whose names were called are subject to all mores at America at all times, nunc pro tunc. All sovereign resources that you were previously presumed to be the custodian of are hereby returned to the sovereign heirs for our immediate use and possession. Sumus de sanctum unum, we are the Holy One. Nous vivons, we live. Sumus clavis regni abundentum imperium, we are the keys to our abundant empire. Amendico vobis, quae cum que sumus veritas super terram erunt ligata et in coelo, et sumus quae cum que sol veritas super terram erunt soluto et in coelo. Islam. With the completion of this sovereign Moorish American consular court action, we, the heirs, do hereby peacefully tribute to ourselves and to our sovereign heirs that which is rightfully ours according to the will of our eternal, omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, infinite, self-existent, self-sufficient ancestors who are present for this court action and who are within us now and forever. We are our ancestors' return. This sovereign Moorish American consular court action is hereby complete. Peace and grand rising to the sovereign heirs, and all who witness this feel free to say Islam.
Islam. Fuck off, Lord. Fuck off, Stupid fucking Lord.
Islam.
Stupid fucking idiot.
Islam, grand rising to the Moors. So we do have witnesses in the house, valid ones, Islam. Okay, we wanted to get that done on the public record. And then the next order of business that we want to take care of here on this call, it involves, again, all of the heirs, because everything that we do, we are doing it for all of the heirs. Yesterday, we began the demonstration that is directly connected with this court action. Okay, where we put on our Postmaster General fezzes and turbans and went and delivered the appropriate notifications to those doing business as Federal Way Police Department. We let them know firsthand by way of sovereign affidavit. We did not need to speak to them. All we needed to do was place our sovereign affidavit on the door. And they are hereby notified with regard to the property that we possessed yesterday. And then we went to the property and placed the documents on the property, notifying all who claim an interest in the property that we have now possessed the property. It's on our land and it belongs to us. I am going to place in the chat the video, a link to the video of that demonstration for those who want to take a look at the demonstration so that you can see what was done. And this is the process that we're going to be using as we move forward to claim the properties that belong to us here on our land. In the video, I did show each one of the documents that was used, and then those documents are placed underneath this video and all of the videos that we have out there with regard to possession of property. And that's at Like Tajiri Bay channel on YouTube. So there is a possession notification that was placed on the public record. There was a Moorish American Consular Court command to appear, which is the case that we just did, and that all the Moors witnessed. There was a Moorish government property tax proclamation that was placed on the public record as well. There was an indemnis facier proclamation, which is the equivalent of, well, and it's not the equivalent, it supersedes all fraudulent corporate claims of insurance, etc., because it is sovereign insurance and it is insured by we, the people. Because many have asked questions about insurance. For example, where automobiles are concerned, or not automobiles, but conveyances are concerned, and property, etc. We, the people, are everything for our property. So when we have property and something happens on the property, we are the police. That's why we're not concerned about policy enforcers or anything like that once we give proper notification. And again, we're not at war with anyone. So when the Moorish police are there, which we are always, as long as we're in the territory, we're present. And we're the police, we're the fire, we're the, we're the sheriff, we're law enforcement, we're the peacekeepers, we're everything. We're the tax assessors, we're all of that. We're the builders, we're the repairers, we're the cleaning people, we're all of that. We're everything for our properties where we don't need the assistance of any outsiders to assist us with our property because we have Moors who can do whatever needs to be done. And then in many cases when things happen, where, for example, I'm learning to do things that I never had to do before because we're not in contract with any corporate. But that's okay. In fact, that's preferred that we not be in contract with them. To pick up the phone and call them and have them to come and fix, quote unquote, fix something on the property, etc. We're doing it ourselves. And at this phase that we're at right now, it might take us a little bit longer to get things fixed and taken care of, but once we get into the swing of doing everything ourselves, and many Moors have already been doing everything themselves. So once we get into the swing of calling each other instead of calling outsiders, then we don't have to worry about being violated by anyone. The only reason that that the foreign hybrids have been doing what they're doing is because we were not doing it. We were not managing and governing our own vast estate. So we would just pick up the phone and call 911 and here comes a hybrid with all their codes and statutes. When we should be looking out for ourselves that way and for each other that way. There's a saying that in the past we used to say it takes a village to raise a child. That's true. It takes a village to do everything, to take care of the properties, to do everything that we need to do. So I put the link to the video of that demonstration in the chat. And also for this meeting, I would like for us to just do a quick yay or nay on the building in that video. And with regard to this court action that was done, if we could just have a quick vote on this building being part of Moorish government property. And the reason we want to put that on the public record is so that everyone is aware that we are unified and we're doing everything together and not separate from one another. The building is, I don't have the exact square footage of the building because when I went to do the research on the building, as with many of the properties, the information has been scrubbed. It's been cleaned and cleared from the records. And that's a good thing for us because we are making our own records. So we looked for information from various places that we know to do research and dig and look, and there was nothing on the building. So that's okay with us. We're okay with that because we're going to do all of the recording of the information, etc. But we did go ahead and make a video about it. So all in favor of us having that building as part of our government property so that we can get accustomed to doing things and everything that we want to do. Those who say yay, go ahead and say yay or Islam, and those who say nay, we'll have a separate time for
Islam.
Yay!
Islam.
Dumbass Islam. Fuck off, stupid ass Moors. Fuck off, dumbasses. It's not gonna work. Nothing's gonna work. The popo gets your ass, Pauline.
I mean a yay, so.
Yeah. Islam.
Yeah.
Islam.
Yay.
Islam. And then those who are opposed to us having the building, you must be a Moorishe American national to participate in the voting. Those who oppose, please say nay at this time. Islam, that is a unanimous vote for the building being Moorish government property. We are going to, yes, and I see all the yays in the chat there, and there's absolutely no dissension whatsoever in the voting. So we're excited about that. Yes, 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 we're unified. So we have unanimity there on the vote. Thank you for that. And so cleanup of the property starts tomorrow morning. So we're just going to go on over to the property, and we're going to just one moment. There's a little bit of noise in some of the backgrounds. I'm going to go ahead and mute just those backgrounds there, and you can unmute yourself by *6 if you want to say whatever you want to say. The building is here at Federal Way Territory, and it is a structure that is in need of repair, and that's okay because we're up for the challenge of, you know, it's an opportunity for us to show that we can govern our own vast estate, and anything that needs to be fixed on our estate, no one can fix it better than we can. No one can, because the estate belongs to us. If you think that foreigners have fixed things up on this estate, wait till you see what we can do. So, because we're highly skilled at everything. We've always been masons and masons, etc., and fixers of everything. So it's going to be interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to the challenge as well. Now, that being said, we will, are there any questions actually about the process of claiming the building, the structures? Because, you know, you all are going to need to do the same thing in your territories. I did choose one that had been abandoned for quite a while, for a number of reasons. Okay. And again, I did not need to speak to any foreigners about the building. All I needed to do was send our lawful affidavit and show that a commercial exchange has taken place, which it has. And the commercial exchanges are always going to be just showing that the value of the property has been accounted for. The building, we assessed the building at 800,000 sovereign silver credits. We did use lawful money for that by creating the United States Treasury instrument. And that money just went into the Treasury for our government, from the people to the people. And so that's how we're going to be proceeding from this point, as well as, you know, we have to give a good assessment, et cetera, of the things that we bring into our sovereign trust and into our sovereign inventory. And so we'll be going over tomorrow and to start the cleanup process. It does need cleaning up. We are going to be gaining entry to the building to see what's in there. We did not, for this demonstration, we just wanted to do the demonstration and make adjustments as we go, which is what anyone's been doing all along. We've been doing that all along anyway. So we're going to continue doing that. We give it a good assessment, and then we make any adjustments from that point. Okay, so are there any questions about that process? Just one moment.
Yes, Empress. Is there a path or process or procedure for us generating our own sovereign notes?
Yes, there is a process. The process has been given in the previous, there's about 2 or 3 videos prior to this one, where United States Treasury sovereign creditor instrument. And when I say creditor instrument, that just means that the sovereign creditors are the ones drawing up the instrument. And I show you examples of what those look like, but just for the, since the question came up, I'll go ahead and put another one of those treasury instruments on the screen so that you can see what they look like.
Thank you, Empress.
Sure, Islam. So it's on government letterhead, our Moorish government letterhead, in red and all lowercase letters. And here it is. Here's a sample one as well. And actually, this is actually not even a sample. This is this is the real thing. For just one moment, let me pull that back. For the property that we just discussed and did the court action for. This is what one of those would look like. It's made very similar to those fraudulent checks that we've been using, thinking that we were citizens. So right here, it has the check number. It has the Moorish National Republic federal government, and then this is the mailing location and the natural area code and latitude and longitude for that property.
It's not showing on the screen. At least I'm not seeing.
Okay, let me go back and see if I can get that bigger.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Thank you, Jimo, because I was looking and I'm like, okay, so when's it going to pop up? But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for saying that too. Let's see. Thank you for letting me know, because okay, is it on the screen now?
Yes.
Islam.
Yes,
okay.
It is.
Well, I can't see it yet.
You can't see it?
No.
It's there. It's on the screen.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You might want to here. Let me see.
If one can see it, it is on there. Then the other people need to refresh their screen, maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Islam.
Right. Thank you.
You may want to sign out and sign back in. I've unlocked the meeting so that you can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Islam.
So, Empress, we can go to your page to get this copy. To get a copy.
It's going to be it'll be under this video.
Oh, okay.
On my there. I can put it on the page as well. On the page as well.
Okay. Thank you.
I usually put links to whatever documents we're talking about. I usually put links to them under the video on on YouTube. At Light to Jury Bay.
There's a fake gtownsfbi.gov in the meeting.
Okay, let me go through and see. I tell you, even with regard to that, it's so funny because, you know, we are at a point now where we're able to do whatever it is that we need to do with regard to this vast estate. And whenever you get to a point like that,
you're so fucking full of shit, Pauline. None of this is going to work. The police are going to be waiting for you tomorrow, Pauline. I guarantee you.
Let me go ahead and because see, we don't scare at all, and we already know that we've done our due diligence, so we're not worried about anything. And Morris, I'll just say this too, that we're at this point now where the only thing they have left to do is cast spells, and if we're not afraid of some spell casting, we're good. So don't be afraid of the spell casting. That's spell casting right there, but we cast much stronger spells, much more like mute. That's a strong spell to cast. So they know we got it now, and that's what they were hoping we didn't get it, but we have it now. And so for that we are grateful. Yes, our spells are far superior, far superior. So the instrument is on the screen here. And let's just see, hopefully, let me see, just one moment. Let me just make sure I can get all of that out of here. On the screen, you can see the instrument. And the instrument, so on the left, is the mailing location of the actual property, along with the natural area code and the latitude and longitude, okay, of the property. So whatever property it is, that's where you want to put that information, because and then there's a second place on this instrument that you can put whatever property it is as well. The other place is right here. This will say 4. What is it for? 1 ounce silver bar, 0.999 pure silver prepayment for sovereign property from the Treasury to United States Bank, all structures, equipment, land, processes, information systems, and records. And so, or you can put the mailing location of the property here as well, okay? And then this is the mailing location of the Treasury here. The Moorish National Republic Federal Government, Moorish American Consulate, etc. here, care of 911 Southwest 314th Place, near Federal Way, Washington Territory. Universal Natural Area Code 4S3WV QVKV5. And then the amount here that's written out, and then convey to. Instead of saying pay to, we're not paying for anything. So that's why we spell prepayment differently. And then it says convey to United States Bank 800,000, and this right here indicates that it's gold backed. The symbol that we use indicates that it's gold backed. That is the Hebrew symbol for the letter B, or be-it, B-E-I-T, which is a command, and then U.S. Silverback United States dollars. And according to the Constitution, because we want to remain lawful, we gave them the Constitution and told them to be under it. We have to be aligned properly with it as well. And so we do use lawful money for these types of transactions, or exchanges rather. And so that is what's happening with regard to this instrument. Justice Tariq, I'm not sure why you can't see it, because others can see it. So maybe when the video is played back again, you you can look back at what's on the screen there. Here at the bottom, and hopefully it will pop up for you shortly, I hope. Here at the bottom is the United States Treasury routing number. And again, all Moors can use that routing number. And it's in red in all lowercase letters. Master account number is this number right here, which is all 9. United States Bank routing number 010105905, and most Moors know what that number is. It's in red in all lowercase letters. That is the routing number for our United States Bank. The amount is then here, 800,000 in silver-backed United States dollars, and that's in red in all lowercase letters, and then the check number. And the check number is the same as the court action number. It's also the same as all of the documents that are associated with this action. So the lien has the same number. The court action has the same number as the United States check, cashier's check. The title has the same number. The indemnis facier has the same number. The property tax proclamation has the same number. And the notification for possession has the same number. So they all have the same document number. I'm sorry, ought, not 0. Thank you. So that is how we are doing the property possession at this point. We are still coming together on some of the other processes as well. In the interim, we're going to just keep moving forward on property possession. What we are planning on doing as well in this territory, and hopefully, and I'm sure in all of the other territories, this is the plan as well. We need to start working towards domiciles for the Moors. That's a must. We have to do that. And then the Moors that will be coming to this area to assist with government work, we're going to be, this same process can be used for domiciles as well. So what you want to do is ensure, it's preferable to pick domiciles that are not occupied at this time. It's preferable to do that. And the reason it's preferable to do that is because we want to ensure that as we look forward, we're looking forward and keeping the peace as much as possible. Yes, we're the heirs to all. Everyone knows that already. We know it too. And then we want to pick domiciles that we can maintain without calling outside help. So sometimes, for example, the domicile previously presumed to be occupied by the one doing business as Bill Gates. The domicile is very large, and we have to be able to maintain it, and that's the only reason why we are not in it at this time. We have not moved in. First of all, we live in our sovereign body, so we don't have to worry about where to live. But we need to be able to. We're putting the Moorish contacts in place now for maintaining property. That's what we're doing in the territory. And right now, with this building that we've possessed, we have to ensure that the grass can be cut and that the roofing can be done, and all of that stuff is, can be taken care of. Okay. And that's what we have to keep in mind as we're looking at domiciles and things like that. And that's why it's another reason why it's not a good idea for someone who does not have a domicile to pick 30 domiciles. Pick one that you can govern and manage, and keep it neat and looking nice, and all the repairs done, etc. So in this territory, we're working now to get the moorishe contacts together for lawn care, repairs of any kind, woodwork, construction. We already have some of the Olmec moors in the territory are a huge help where construction and things like that are concerned. So we can assist with that as well. You know, we're getting our resources together here, okay, to manage. Islam, this is Nael, he does home improvements and lawn care, etc. We need to know that. We need to know that, and then at some point, you know, if we have to bring Moors in to do it, we'll do that. Because it has to be, you know, we prefer to do business with declared Moors who know who they are. So that's where we are right now. Okay. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Any other questions or comments there? And you can star 6 if you want, if you have any questions or comments. Moors only.
Islam.
Islam.
Illinois territory.
Yes.
Yes. Respects to you. The demonstration you just did earlier. Learned a lot from that. You know, you're going over quite a few things over the last few weeks, and boy, I'm trying to catch up. But the priority of us getting our post office, the buildings themselves, that is still a priority, right?
Yes. 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 So our priority is to repossess everything that has to do with us. That is our priority. And excuse the way the sunlight is hitting. It's coming through the window over here. Excuse that. But our priority is to get back everything that belongs to us. Everything.
But I'm talking about initially, like, is that one of the key pieces?
That's a key piece right there, because it's going to make it so that we can transfer the credits back and forth.
Exactly. You know, and we're absorbing this information, you know, in connection with all that. If we do possess the buildings and we don't have the people to put in there, what would be the problem with having people that already work there until we get situated? If we take over these properties, they have to be run, right? So
yes.
What's the problem with keeping the personnel there until we can do better? I mean, it's just like a corporate takeover, right? Somebody else takes the company, and they say, hey, I'm the new sheriff.
Yes.
And, you know, keep the people there. I mean, do we have to run the Albions out right now? I mean, I'd like to.
Don't be fucking delusional like Pauline is, you stupid ass. It ain't gonna work.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't even address that. That's low vibrating energy. Go ahead.
No, I just had to say that because it's funny. He's like on the type. Okay. Yeah. So my thing was, I mean, is that an option? I mean, because
here's the thing about that. We can do it that way. And the thing is, we don't want a bunch of unemployed people on our land. That's one thing we don't want. But they have to get in their rightful status, okay? And in reality, we've already put them in their rightful status by getting in our rightful status. So if you'll notice, most of the post offices have put up prisoner of war, POW flag, underneath their corporate commercial flag.
Yeah, I was in the post.
Go ahead, Justice.
I was in the post office the other day, and they weren't even making money orders. Is that because they can't? Because when we take over the post offices, we're going to eliminate the corporate side, right? The ones that does the pitney bowls, fraud, and all that stuff that's been going on.
Yeah,
right?
none of that was valid in the first place.
I know.
So yes, you're correct.
So I just want to start a conversation on how we do this because, we obviously can't shut everything down once we take over because that wouldn't be practical, right?
Well, here's how I see it in my mind's eye. This is what I've done, okay? And just for each of your territories, you have to actually think it through, and it's good that we're having this conversation. So what I've done here is this, with regard to the post offices. First, I have ordered Postmaster General conveyance tag just recently, so that as I go about doing my postmaster duties and I'm, their original indigenous sovereign postmaster conveyance tag. Additionally, the postmaster generals need to be in military uniform. Okay. The postmaster generals need to be in military uniform. The reason we need to be in peacekeeping uniform is because of the status of that position. All Moors are the postmaster generals. So I've gotten my uniforms together on that postmaster peacekeeping uniform, and then a postmaster tag, an appellation tag. And my plan is to notify the post office here. At some point, we actually have to go in there and start working to set up our systems. We have to. And what I'm doing is just being very sure that the peace is kept as that happens. So I'm taking my time about how to go about doing that and just listening for the ancestral energies to tell me the best way to do that. I know for sure that we need to notify them of a particular day that we're coming. Now, initially we said February 14th for this territory here. That on or after February 14th, we're going to go to the post office and we want to begin looking at the systems and auditing and everything like that. We need to look through and see what's going on because that is our sovereign resource. And that's a pretty bold move. I know it is. And I want to be sure that as we move, yes. See, their system has come to a complete halt just about. And our system is already there. We know that. That's why they can't do much up in there. But I want to be sure that everything is done peacefully, decently, in order, and that the process can be a template for others doing the same.
And Islam, you know, I know we're going to have a conversation about the corporate part, which we taken the corporate covering off, which included all that fraud that was going on with the pitney bowls and the postal fraud. We got to take that out of there as well. So, is how to go about that. I was just.
Well, those are good points. See, that's the kind of stuff we have to know going in, that we don't use that stuff. And not all Moors know that. See, some Moors will go in and just use the systems that are there, and we can't really do that. We have to know the law with regard to what we're doing when we go in there. And in reality, you know, we have to know that at some point we're going to be making our own stamps. And there, I know that our ancestors had stamps already that were there, and, you know, I know that a lot of the work has already been done. I just want it to be peaceful when we go into the post. Islam Justice Jeremiah in the chat. I unlocked it just for a moment for him to come in. He can come in. I want to ensure that that process is peaceful and competent. I'm comfortable with going there and you know, but I've been thinking about things like access to the building because I know that when we start working, I tend to work many hours. So I would be there sometimes up through the night looking at things, and et cetera, because I do that here. And so I want to be sure that we have access in and out of the building and all of that. And I want to make sure that we don't catch anybody by surprise. And I don't believe we're catching anybody by surprise. In fact, I know we're not. I know they're paying attention because we've been notifying them and notifying the policy enforcers and putting our intentions on the public record. We know we have every lawful right to do so. So, and I also know that that's why everything they're doing is shutting down. It's because of what we're doing. Okay. So I just want the transition to be smooth and peaceful. And then we're going in competent, knowing that the old systems are, you know, every step we take, we're going to be writing processes for it. Just like we've been doing, we're going to be writing sovereign processes for everything at the post office. We're going to be essentially rewriting the manual on how to do things there, keeping it sovereign and not doing anything corporate.
Lawful, right?
You know, so I'm preparing for that. I know that it's something that can't be rushed, that it has to be done decently and in order. And, you know, I want it to be done the right way. And so I'm just ensuring that I listen for the ancestral energies to give me the go-ahead. And they've pretty much given me the go-ahead, but they're telling me exactly how it should be done. It's going to be done the same way we've been doing things. You know, proper notification. You notify at least 3 times. Let your paperwork precede you. And that sort of thing, you know. So we want to be sure that when as we're doing it, we do it the right way. And we're going to do it the right way. We're comfortable with that. We're comfortable with it. Any other questions, Justice? Because those are great points to bring up. I want to be sure that everyone. Star 6 if you want to unmute. Those are great points. Great points. I just want to be sure, you know, that as we move, that we move peacefully, and I'm excited about it. I just know that it's got to be done correctly, and it will be. It will be. That's a big step, because we'll essentially be just going to the post office and saying we're here to work, and we're here to do what needs to be done so that this vast estate can move forward lawfully with gold-backed, lawful sovereign money, and not fake stuff. Islam,
reference. You were saying something about the POW flags and what that means.
The POW flag, so the foreign hybrids are not, this is not their vast estate. This is our vast estate. So what are they working for?
That's what you think, Pauline.
You see what I'm saying? What are they working for? What are they working for? Because
exactly.
He can't answer that question. What are they working for?
Exactly.
That means they're just working for the Moors. And right now, a lot of them, you know, while they were waiting for us to wake up, some of them lost their lives. Some, you know, went off to war, so to speak. And things happened there. When they say prisoners of war, they've been at war. We've been at peace. And they've been at war. And from their perspective, they've been fighting for us.
Okay.
So everybody who lost their lives, for example, policy enforcers, etc., in their mind, they were all working to secure the vast estate while we slept, and to keep any other nations and corporate nations and corporate citizens from taking it, including us, and teaching us how to govern. That's really what, because they've been teaching us some of those cruel lessons where, you know, we got treated pretty badly, so we want to make sure we don't treat people badly. And so for them, that's an ode to those who, you know, some of them haven't come back. Some of them went insane and, you know, whatever. They're prisoners of war.
Okay.
They're prisoners of war, you know. And again, we're not patting anybody on the back, because we have to proceed carefully and peacefully at this time too, you know, so that everything goes smoothly. And that's our goal, is for everything to go smoothly. And it will, because we're in complete control of that. That's another reason why we have to make sure that our energies are the right energies. And look, our energies have to be right going into that type of a situation where we're taking the reins of everything. You know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for those questions, because we need to talk about everything that has to do with the estate and how we're going to proceed. We're ready to proceed, but even going in there, again, we want everyone to be dressed the same way, all Moors to have at least the military uniform with peacekeeper
in your
on
crown
it.
uniform.
With peacekeeper on it, peacekeeper, and you know, because think about it. What if you have to go into one of those places and you have to deal with somebody that acts like that one we just booted out of here? You know, we have to be peaceful and know that no matter what they say, we still got this. It's still our estate, period. And some may have to deal with something like that. Are you ready? Can you keep the peace, peacekeepers? Knowing that it's still your estate. No one can take it. Not even in our fleet could they take it. So now who's ready for that? We got this, Empress Minnie. Yes, we sure do. We sure do. We got it. You know. So
if by this you mean jail, yes, you got that.
I'm sorry.
I said, if by this you mean going to jail, you got it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Don't be mad. Don't be mad. We love you. We love you. The estate is ours, and we we got this. Don't be mad. We love you. You know, what if you got to deal with somebody who's like that? You know what I'm saying? What will you say and what will you do? Moors.
Islam.
They know who you are. They know the estate belongs to you, and you have to deal with somebody like that. What would you do? Islam, Justice, yeah.
If you know the story of what you do, we had to, in cases, move them away several times, and we had to put them in those caves because they would not listen. They would not even try. In fact, they couldn't. So, you know, you can't expect anything else out of them. And if they do something better, a pleasant surprise is always good. But, you know, they have to be, it's like you don't hang around with rabid dogs. You try to put them in a place where you can heal them and then let them go. But you do not hang around with rabid dogs. That is an illness that they have. So you can't hold it against them, but they must be quarantined.
Okay, that's good that you said that, Justice Giro, because you know what? When we go into those places, where I'm concerned, I will not be speaking to any of them unless it is a necessity. And the reason why is because I know what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what they do. So I'm just going to be going in, and you know how on those movies they have military people, and someone will ask a military person a question, and they say, "If I tell you, I got to kill you."
I got to kill you. Exactly.
You know, and it's we're not going to say that, but it's best to keep the peace, be quiet.
Well, we used to say, if you ask it again, we will kill you.
See, and
that's real.
We don't want to. We don't even want to have to say stuff like that.
Exactly.
We don't want to say anything like that. We really don't.
It's
because we love.
Right.
We love.
Islam. You know. I go back quiet.
Yeah. So, I will say that we, you know, let me see. Empress Alessandra, I'm trying to figure out which one of those is you and which one is the hybrid. Let me see.
As if the Empress Alessandra.
I'm gonna boot one of them. Okay, Empress. Are you still in, Empress? Hopefully I did. That's good. I got the right one. You know what? The ancestors know what they're doing.
You know, the other day I told you that the devil only shows up at a loaded vault. First they said those liens don't work, and then they said, when are y'all getting the money? And then now they're saying this isn't going to work. So if this stuff doesn't work, why do you have a budget of doing graphics and doing all the scarecrow tactics that we used to use in politics? You know, we used to pay people, volunteers, to come in and make phone calls and write things in the newspaper about the opponent. And this is just evidence that there is a vault loaded here. Islam.
Of course. Because there's just no way you're going to be at every freaking meeting and somebody ain't paying you to be here. Somebody's paying them to be here, you know. But we love them. We love them. We love them. We love you. Let me see which one. I believe that's the one. It's there. Let me get that out and see. So we want to move. We want to do what we need to do in terms of all of that. Great. I'm glad, Empress. that you're still here. I booted 2 of them out. So, and we know that they may be a little frightened, you know, and we're not trying to scare anybody or anything like that. We're moving peacefully, you know, and again, we love them. We're not mad at them either for showing up at every meeting. We're not mad because we know how to mute and boot, you know. So anyway, yes, Empress Portia, on time for every meeting, early for the meeting. So, you know, we know that what we're saying and doing has their attention. They can't say they don't know who the Moors are because they're at every meeting. You know, so we appreciate them. We love them. Just, you know, let's send them some love, peace, truth, energy, and all of that stuff, you know. So they tickle me a little bit, but sometimes the Moors get a little upset for them being here and stuff, you know. Anyway, are there any other questions, comments, etc.? Oh, Empress Portia, yes, you better say that. You better say it, Empress. Come on. Empress Portia, that is so true. Empress Portia put in the chat, if we were dissing each other, they wouldn't be here. Woo, that'll preach. That will preach, Empress. If we were being dirty to each other and talking bad, see, they don't attend those kind of meetings because they already know them. They don't have to worry about them kind. The ones that ain't doing no unity and ain't, you know, aren't accomplishing what they ain't trying to go to those meetings. They want to be here so they can see if they can break up the unity a little bit. If they ain't careful, we'll have them, you know, talking about, I know I'm a subject of the Moors. They better be careful coming in here. We'll love them into submission, Islam. So if there be nothing further, I think we can, there was a question in the chat about showing, doing the process of setting up the treasury account. The only reason I've waited a couple of calls to do that, number one, because I'm still looking at the documentation, but number two, more importantly than that, is you don't need to wait for me. Read and figure out how to do it, and then bring what you learned to the meeting. No one more has all the answers. We're not fooled by any means, and we don't have no ego. We don't have any ego. We already know that we need each other, period. We need each other, period. And the way we solve things is by doing what we're doing here, talking back and forth with one another and sharing our study with one another. So read through. You know, you have the manual. We all have the treasury manual. Read through on how to set your accounts up. And yes, I've been doing some digging into that, and it's an affidavit. It's that. You know, it's an affidavit. We speak by affidavit. And it's not really that complicated either. Not really. It's nothing that any of the Moors can't figure out. So this week, we're going to make it a goal, along with cleanup of the property that we chose. We're going to make it a goal to get at least 2 written notifications to the post office in the territory, and to, you know, all subjects in the territory who, you know, may have an interest in what we're doing, to include policy enforcers and fake sheriffs, and, you know, and we'll even notify the alphabet boys, you know. And I don't want to disrespect anyone, But that's what we call them. So we'll notify and let this be public notification to all United States corporation company subjects, because you all are subject to us. We're letting you know now that we will be moving into, we're going to be notifying the post offices and going in sometime on or before after February 14th, so that we can go through the systems, look through them, audit them, learn them, and begin operating out with that as one of the places that we'll be operating. So I'm ready. I'm ready. And I know you all are ready too. So let's do it. And then if you're going to be going into the post offices, I really want to say just let me go in first so that I can see how things go in there. But I don't really want anyone to wait, because I don't want to be the holdup for anyone who feels competent to go in and start working. But we have to, again, notify. And you're not only notifying the post office, you know, the subjects there. You want to notify all states, policy enforcers, courts, subjects, etc. You got to lien them and do a court action on them first, and then notify them, you know, that you're going in, and, you know, because we actually, it is lawful and rightful for us to audit at any time any of the processes on our land, to include things like the Federal Reserve and all of that stuff. We had the right to audit all of that stuff. We just had to be in our rightful status to do it, because you can't audit them as a citizen. They'll throw you in jail. You have to be in your rightful status to, you know, to audit and do any of that, and to start utilizing those things. So those are all our resources and systems, you know. Now, we did give them notice on the public record in, I believe, May of last year, May of 2020. May of 1441. But we want to be sure that we give both, you know, that we speak it and then we put it in writing a couple of times as well. I'm a little nervous. I will tell you that I'm a little nervous because we're even right now we're in a place that we've not been in our lifetime. You know, we're further outside of capitalism and in our sovereign status in higher numbers than we've ever been. And we see the way through. We see how to get where we're going. We just want to be sure that, you know, and we're sure. I'm sure. It's still a little, you know, I'm letting the ancestors keep doing what they've been doing. They've been giving us what to do and how to do it, etc. And I'm going to keep doing that, clearing energy and letting them tell me what, when, where, and how, so that we stay, you know, everything stays good. So, and then the next call that we have, which will be Wednesday, actually the Thursday call, we'll talk about setting up the account on the Thursday call. And if you all can just bring whatever study you've done and anything that you want to point out so that we all can see what you've come up with and share information with one another, that would actually be helpful too. So again, no one has to wait on anyone. We can all do our own studies and then just share our information that we have with one another. Okay. Let me just make sure that okay. I think that's all we have at this point. Without any, if there are no other questions or comments, etc., Peace and grace. Islam.
Much love, much love.
Islam. Much love to you, Trinidad. Islam.